Ah.
Um,
Jesus Christ.
What's the definition of talking stage?
Talking stage. My definition of talking stage is the stage where I feel you should ask the questions that help you to make an informed decision. Because I want to be talking stage is relationship thing now, like relationship. So talking stage should be that stage where you ask the questions that help you to make a very informed decision about whether you can work or you are compatible. I feel it should precede the relationship. I mean, that's where you are asking the right questions, not just rushing into it. You're asking, who are you? Where do you come from? All of that. What are your likes? You're getting to know the person, basically.
Talking stage is like you meet someone that first few conversations, you're like, oh, okay, this person's not that bad. We can actually, I can still talk to this person. And you guys are talking, getting to know each other. Like, okay, what's your name? Tell me more about yourself. And you're talking. And before, in that process, you build friendship. In that process, you build so many plenty other things. I don't know. But we know what I mean. Like, you just talk about yourself, talk about his likes, talk about his dislikes, well, different things. There are different things to talk about. So, and this is even where you can even determine if you want to be in a relationship, because relationship is not just something that you can just jump into like that. Because at the end of the day, if you are going into a relationship, you're going in for a purpose. There should be an end or a destination. So before you can even say, this is the person I want to be with, except you want to just go with the flow and enter the relationship and find out things that you don't want at the end of the day and break up. And break up is hard, it's painful. So
a talking stage, simply put, is the period between when you meet somebody and when you start dating them or not start dating them. So that space in between, the talking stage.
I like that definition. How do you know when you're in the talking stage?
So as long as whatever it is you are doing with this person has not been defined and has no name, my brother, my sister, you are in the talking stage. Even if that has gone on for like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, as long as there hasn't been a definition, both of you have not consciously said that, oh, you know what, I like you enough to date you or stuff. As long as there's no definition, people are still in the talking stage. Don't go and assume that you're dating somebody that is not dating you. So
I will tell you how I knew I was in a talking stage. I will use myself as an example. You are in the talking stage when you are talking a lot. Jesus Christ. I mean, then at work, they knew that, is this lady, there's this time of the day when you are chatting and you are smiling like a goat. So you talk for long. You are in the talking stage when you are talking for long, because I know that at that period, at that point in my life, I wasn't so conversational. Like, if you send me a message, I'll respond when I want to respond. But at some point, I started talking, like holding my phone and trying to have conversations more often. So it was obvious, and the smiling like a goat one was there too. So yeah, you will know you're in the talking stage because you will talk. So that's it, basically.
What expectations should you have in the talking stage?
What expectations? Really, if you have preconceived expectations, I think that's unfair. I think that's unfair. I think at the talking stage, you should go into the talking stage expecting anything. You can go into the talking stage. You might have like what you expect in the talking stage. And I think, let me go back to Christian brothers and Christian relationships. As Christians, you expect that in the talking stage, you'll be talking about, your love for God. I read the book of Galatians recently. But the truth is, if you are becoming attracted to somebody, at some point there's a level freedom you begin to have with that person that lets you bear your heart out. That's why I said the talking stage, I feel, should precede the relationship, where you bear out your heart and where you begin to say some things that, and that's where that's the point where you begin to trust this person. You begin to try to build trust that you feel can lead to a relationship. So if you already have things in your mind as expectations, some people would blow your mind. Imagine if, okay, on the talking stage, one of these days, you people are just exchanging things and you're a Christian brother who doesn't know much, maybe you're very naive and everything, and this girl just types, I have a kid. I got a child when I was, I'm a single mom. And you are like, Jesus, you just drop the phone, like it just hits you. Because nothing prepares you for some of those conversations. I mean, how do you react to a lady just, you start talking, you're catching feelings, and out of the blue, she just hits you, I have a kid. I'm like, nothing, because a child is a different ball game. Like you were not thinking that, oh, I met this Christian lady, and we were expecting to talk about Bible and everything, and bam, she hits me with I have a kid. So I feel you should go into the talking stage with an open mind. Be open-minded, be ready to accommodate the person and come to a conclusion about the person based on what the conversations you have, and not have your expectations in your head. Don't put people in boxes. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't put people in boxes. Even if people, yes, you should date a Christian, but even amongst Christians, we have people who have gone through a lot, who have struggles, who have things they have been through. I mean, like I just said a thing about a child now, but how about if that child, things happen. Things happen. So you should be ready to also take in people's mistakes. If you're already catching feelings for somebody, you should know that this person you are catching feelings for is not a perfect human being. Be ready to take in their flaws if they discuss. Just be open. I mean,
You should be expecting to get to know this person better. You already know their name, so you want to find out more about their background, how they grew up, their childhood, their life, what they have been doing so far, their values about life, and then you also want to know if your values and their values actually align. I mean, you can't know it all because really you can't, but at least there are some basic values that you have about life. So it's important at this stage, for you to expect to find out if your values align, because it's never written on somebody's face that, oh, I'm a Christian, or oh, I'm a Muslim, or I'm a traditionalist, or whatever. So it's at this stage you want to know, is this person a Christian? What are their Christian values? And, all this kind of stuff you want to find out. You also want to be talking about their values about marriage, because if you're in talking stage, it then means that you are working towards dating or not dating this person, or marrying or not marrying this person. So if you're going to date this person, I believe that you are dating with the intention of getting married. So at the talking stage, you want to know if your basic values about marriage is the same thing as theirs. Very, very, very important, because if this guy wants to have a housewife, please, this is the stage where you get to know it. It's not when you have dated the person for 1 year that you're not like, oh, irreconcilable differences. My sister, my brother, you're deceiving yourself. So it's at this point you want to find out, all these things about this person. What do they do? What are their future plans? You can't know everything, but you just want to know what the basics are. What kind of picture do they have about their future? What kind of life do they want to live? What are their dreams? What are their visions? You really want to know the basics of, when you start dating this person, then you can go into full detail. But in the talking stage, you just want to find out the basics to know if it aligns with your own life, because your person also has to get to know you too. So if your values are not aligning, there's no point starting. And the fact that your values are not aligning with this person does not mean that person is bad, but you guys might just not be going towards the same direction. And if you aren't, there's no point starting a relationship. So these are some of the things you should expect to find out in the talking stage.
Is it fine to talk to multiple people at once?
Take a deep breath. Is it fine to talk to multiple people at once? I would say yes, and I would say no. My own personal preference, so I don't think I have that space or that time to talk to more than one person. To talk to more than one person at a time. I don't have the emotional capacity for it. I really don't. Like, it has to be one by one. So I talk to you, it's not what next person talking stage, like, but I don't have the emotional capacity. I don't even have the time, like literal time, for that. I mean, one person is they're already talking into the night. When I want to talk to the next person, is it by 2 a.m. or by 3 a.m.? Like, I personally don't even have time for that. And I don't have the emotional capacity to be able to carry that. But then, if you have, I mean, by all means, you can talk to more than one person at a time. It's really your preference. Can you handle it? And if you're going to talk to more than one, if you're going to be in the talking stage with more than one person, then you need to be clear. You need to be as clear as crystal. Like, because you don't want to be talking to people and then all of a sudden you are in a relationship. You want to be as clear as crystal. So when you realize that you start catching feeling for a particular person, it's at that point you need to start reducing your talking with other people so that you can focus on one. But when you're carrying all of them along at the same frequency, it's a problem. So you need to be as clear as crystal. If you want to talk to more than one person at a time, be very clear. If you can handle it, well, why not? And please know that talking stage is not for you to be leading people's children on. It's for you to be talking to, like, build, is literally a place for you to build basic friendship. So there is no, so once you realize that it's like your heart is doing thing for one person, that's the time to start reducing your communication with the others so that you can focus on one person. So yeah, I think it's okay. But me personally, I can't handle it.
Please feel free to shoot your shot. Yes, actually, you can be in talking stage with different people. It will even help you pick the person that you want to, because God brought different animals to Adam. I'm sure he was in talking stage with all of them one by one. So, and eventually he picked one person. So it's not a bad idea.
How would you feel if you find out that the guy that is talking to you and chatting over hours is also talking with?
It's expected. I'm expecting him to have other people that he's talking to. You cannot be, if he's telling me that I am the only one he's talking to, I don't believe him, because he's a guy, and I feel like he has other people that he likes also. And he's shooting the shots to other people too. So
doesn't that mean maybe he doesn't love you that
but at talking stage, I don't think he loves me enough that well, though. And then I don't know, I feel like this talking stage is nothing deep, it's just talking stage. Then eventually, maybe if we get to talk to a particular point that we now start saying, oh, you should love me this, because they cannot talk to me for like, okay, let me know it's my interesting, but that's just it.
My personal experience, and please don't laugh, don't mock me. God loves you, God bless you. I'm just using this to buttress my point. So when I started talking to the lady who is now I put a ring on her finger, I don't want to. When I first started talking to her, we used to talk like every day. Then we spoke for like more than 1 month, and why I said that Christian brothers have an issue with defining relationships, because from over 1 month, we were just talking every day, and I didn't define anything. I didn't try to say, okay, this is where we're going, or this is what this meant to me, because I'd been out of, I want to call it a game, out of the whole relationship thing for so long that I didn't know what to do at that point. I didn't know how to make, but I started catching feelings. Obviously, I was catching feelings because on her birthday, we had spoken up to a point where she told me she loved chocolate cakes. So her birthday came, I ordered this chocolate cake, delivered it to her. Like, I actually carried the cake and gave it to her. And we were not dating, we're nothing then. We had just been talking for every day, but it was always, I was catching feelings. So at some point she asked me that, why did you buy me cake? I was like, this is a weird question. And I answered it the most arrogant way possible. You are a Christian sister. I can buy cake for anybody. If I like, I'll buy cake for you. Because I was trying to hide the fact that, hard guy now. I was catching feelings. So why do you buy me cake? Like, And we have been talking for this long. What is happening? What are we doing? She started pushing me to the point where I had to say, this thing. But do you know, later on she confessed to me that if I had not come out correct, and I kept doing all that thing I was doing, that she was going to block my number. She was never going to talk to me again because she was clearly having feelings for me. And I was just sending her cake, sending messages every day, talking, but I wasn't defining anything. And she was not ready to have her time wasted. So don't waste anybody's time. Multiple people, no. One person, give the attention, give it a shot. If it doesn't work, then you can move on. So that's my answer. And please don't mock me. Please. Thank you. God bless you. I'm a sharp guy. Forget.
What's the difference between talking to someone and being in a relationship?
Talking to somebody and being in a relationship. There's a world of difference. I think when you are in the relationship is when you are in the relationship. You are not in the relationship until you are in the relationship. You can talk to people. Talking is something you must do as a human being. You talk to colleagues. That's why I said defining is what is important. Defining what we are. The people who are in your office space are your colleagues. That's the definition of that relationship. So you talk to them as your colleagues. Some of them might be your friends. Not all of them necessarily have to be your friends. In that way, you have defined the relationship with some of them as my friends who are also my colleagues. But talking and relationship, I think the difference in talking and relationship is the fact that one has been defined. Like one has been defined as something. You are now something. Some people delude themselves into believing that they are in relationships with people who they are not actually dating. That's because no decision has been made. Like you have not made the move. The guy hasn't said that he's dating you, but in your head, you're already in a relationship with this person. So I think the difference between both of them is that one has been properly defined. The guy has asked you that, can you be my girlfriend, or can you go? And yes, please, it's the guy that's supposed to initiate. That's the normal thing. I still stand for that the guy is supposed to initiate. So the guy has said, can you be my, and you have agreed, you are in a relationship. But if that hasn't happened and you are just talking, then you are just talking. That's all it is.
So for me, the difference is, while we're in talking stage, there's no definition, there is no commitment, there is no nothing. We're just friends trying to know each other, getting to know more about each other. And then when we start dating, the difference is the definition. Now we have sat down, we've said, oh, you know what? I think what I know about you, I like you enough to be able to date you and possibly marry you. And so that's the difference. Now I'm conscious, I'm giving you my entire time, I'm committed to you and you alone. I wouldn't be dating you and then being in the talking stage with another person. That's absolutely wrong. So it then means that I am dating you, and you alone. There's commitment, there's definition, and we're beginning to build, whatever future it is that we want for each other. So difference, definition. Talking stage is not defined. You're just friends trying to know each other. Dating is defined. There's commitment. You guys are building towards something, bigger and greater.
Definition. Talking stage, you can be in talking stage with different people, but you cannot date different people. Dating someone, you are already committed to this person, so you cannot just date different people. The definition is the difference. You've defined the relationship now. I'm dating this person. I'm more committed to this person, and you cannot just do things without considering the person's opinion, emotions, and all that. So,
what should come after talking stage?
Dating. You guys start dating and enjoy yourself.
What comes after the talking stage?
Dating. Courtship. So when you guys are done talking, there are only two possibilities. Either you move on to date this person, or you move on not to date this person. So if you've talked to the person and both of you realize that, oh, you know what, how we kind of, our values kind of align, we're quite compatible, from what I know, I like you enough to be able to date you, and the other person feels the same way, then you guys can go on to date. But if you have spoken, and then from all our conversations, you're not necessarily a bad person, but I just feel like it's either the chemistry is not there, the attraction is not there. It's either there's just some things about you that I feel like I don't want to deal with. It's possible that maybe I'm a Christian, you're a Christian, and then there's a possibility that I feel like you're not spiritual enough for me, or maybe you're a liberal, that kind of, you're a Christian, but everything goes kind of person. Nah, So we can go from the talking stage to either dating or not dating.
How long should talking stage be for?
Talking stage should last as long as you are sure that this is the person you want to be with. So it can be for 6 months. It depends on you and the person, because if you use another person's milestone and say 7 days or 3 months, I don't think there's a particular length for talking stage. You talk until you're comfortable to be the person's spouse or boyfriend or date the person in the first place. So if it takes a year, fine. If it takes 3 months, if it takes 7 days. So I feel like it depends on you, it depends on the person, it depends on what you want, actually. So that's it.
I feel ashamed to use myself as an example because on this, with respect to this, I don't think I got things right. But this is something I feel like, let me give some advice. Let me act like an old person that knows it all, that's like a relationship coach or expert. I think many guys don't know how to define relationships. Or not many guys. I would say maybe Christian brothers. And that's why we get brother zoned a lot and uncle zoned and the numerous zones that exist. I've heard a lot of zones, mentor zone, because I think we are bad at defining relationships. So you start talking with this person, you're talking every day. You're talking about everything. You're even letting her in on aspects of your life that are quite, intimate aspects of your life, and you're talking. You talk for 1 month, you talk for 2 months, and you have not asked the question. And you two are like, guys, let's be honest. I'll say this in vernacular. They had us to catch feelings. Although we like to form, we're hard. They had us. When you start talking to a lady like after a point, right, the feelings will start building up. And at that point, I think the answer to the question, how long is the talking stage last, is at the point where you are ready to define what you are doing. This thing you are doing, this holding phone and smiling like a goat. At that point where you are ready to say, what are we doing? Why are we talking every day? What is this about? Where are we going to? Do you want to date? Because me, I don't like you. Do you like me back? So, no, that's not you do. That's not romantic. Please don't do it like that. So when you can reach a consensus on defining the relationship, I think that's what it is. But that's how long a talking stage should last. When you get to that point where you must of necessity define the relationship, because that point will actually come. You can't be talking to somebody every day and not say at some point, what are we doing? We talk every day. Like, I can see my chat. Like, I even call you, we talk into the night, sometimes into the next day. That's extreme cases. But what are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? What are we? Are we just friends? Because it's weird if you have a friend who you talk to like that regularly. But define everything. So that's my answer. I don't know if it suffices, but that's my answer.
You know this guy likes you.
Mm-hmm.
You ladies always know. But you don't like him. But he hasn't clearly come out to tell you that he likes you. It's just, those sweet things. But you know you don't like him. You know that there's no chance of liking him. What do you do?
Actually, I would play along, because the reason why I said I'll play along is because I might not like him at the start, but maybe that's because I don't know him, or I'm not going to know him, or I have not seen, because you cannot just know a person in one day. So I just give you like a benefit of doubt that eventually I might like him and I might not like him. But if I give that already and I don't still like him, then I think that's the end of the road there. So did I answer the question?